know, there's always a tendency to think that you have control over everything in life. My wife doesn't have lights, so what's the one thing you don't need? We're at a Flying J right now, on our way to Flagler Beach. Our problem is my wife doesn't have lights, and it's starting to get dark. We got out much later than I'd hoped, about, I think it was 1 o'clock, so hopefully we'll get there. So we were sitting in the driveway.
Take the next right onto Florida 713 North.
Yeah. We were sitting in the driveway of the Flying J, and I'm talking to a guy who has an RV. And as we were talking, my car got hit by another guy in an RV backing out. So maybe that's just more of a sign that I don't need an RV. So we are now in our new house. Well, it's not our house, but for the next year, we're renting this house in Flagler Beach. And, you know, I felt throughout this whole process that we were kind of being guided. My wife had seen this rental initially and was very excited about it because it's literally right off A1A. And if you know Florida, that's the road right along the beach.
Yo, so I continue to A1A.
And this house is about $500 cheaper than our house in Hollywood, and all utilities are paid, which was not the case for our Hollywood place.
Right.
And we paid $600 for electric. You would probably know what the water was.
Anywhere from $125 to $160, depending on the month. Or
Yeah.
if we had to keep filling the pool over and over again, that added up.
So we're going to save a lot of money, and I think finally things are headed in the right direction. And I'm so looking forward to the future.
I am too, and I will say I am still struggling a little bit if I seem not overly happy.
Okay.
I'm still struggling because this is exactly where I wanted to be, but I have, haven't had a few adventurous cats that I really had my heart set on being able to take down to the beach and, let them experience it and explore. And, I bought harnesses for all of them on, the whole, I guess it was during the extended stay. And I'm still struggling with losing him because he's had such a huge personality and was kind of, one of my little followers, I guess you could say. So I'm just really struggling. It's as happy as I am to be here. It just makes me think of that. And it just makes me think of, what he's not going to be able to do with us and that kind of thing. So it's kind of zapping a little bit of the happiness that I would have. And I know, it'll get better as the days go on. But it's only been a week today, I do believe, since he's been gone. So I know it'll get easier. But if I don't seem as enthused as he does, that's why. This is exactly where I wanted to be, so it's not that at all.
Well, I do want to assure everybody that, again, although the channel isn't going to be about RV life, it's still going to be about a life that I think so many of us, especially at a certain age as our kids get older, really want to pursue, which is where you really start to live life. You're probably less compromising. I know I've gotten that way in that, dealing with so much of the garbage. And because we're talking about beach life on a budget, we haven't really talked about this, but I would like to share some of the costs of everything so that people know, because that was one thing that I kind of felt bad about, in that we've had, contact from people that think we're on the street somewhere. And that was never really the issue. It really was about the time and being very cash poor at the moment, because she wasn't working, I wasn't working. I had my freelance stuff, but it hadn't really started. And so there was so much concern, and everything cost a lot. The pod we had bought, and I was told that when it was delivered back to you, that would be free. Well, that's only if you're in the local area. To get it here, it's $1,100. So that's something that's going to have to wait, because we kept having those expenses, the extended stay, all of these different things.
We had to extend the extended stay because we weren't going to be able to do the application process in time. And back to the pod thing too, when we got the pod, we had the whole RV thing in mind. We thought that was still going to work. So it was going to be just a matter of storage until we found something. And even then, we didn't know exactly where we were going to be. So we didn't even think to ask the questions about, well, what if it's 3 hours, 4 hours away? What's it going to cost then? We probably should have thought ahead, but you just never know where you're going to end up.
I feel so often that inactivity is one of the greatest detriments to people's lives, especially as we get older. We start to get comfortable. And that's great if you're happy with everything going on in your life. But if you're not, and we weren't, then you have to make a change, because the bottom line is, what's going to happen if you don't. You will continue on the same path. I feel like people do this a lot in relationships, and then they're bitter, and there are no good men, there are no good women. It's like, well, you've been dating the same people over and over. You have not changed your approach. Let me tell you about this town. So we're looking out here on the road, and there's a scooter gang, not a motorcycle gang, a scooter gang that drives by. You see what I'm talking about?
It did look a little silly.
Well, hey. Yeah, I mean, you just can't beat this. And it's been gray, and I've been a little bit worried about that, because my wife really doesn't like gray at all. I grew up in Seattle. I like it every now and again, especially at this time of year, to have it be a little colder. It actually does feel like there's seasons. We had 38 degrees not that long ago. So it was pretty cold. But today it's like, 50 something. It's very comfortable. And to have that ocean view, I mean, I'm just so excited about the holidays next year, because obviously this year it's kind of bust. There goes somebody moving. They're going to Hollywood. They're tired. They're fed up with this slow life. So anyway, I hope you guys stay tuned, because we're going to have a lot of fun stuff. I've been wanting to go camping on the beach for the longest time, even though I'm not really a camper, but I picked out a bunch of spots. I just think that'd be a blast. We saw a bunch of holes in the sand.
Yeah, I don't want to get attacked by little sand crabs as we're trying to sleep. I'm having a hard time sleeping.
I'm going to wind up on the beach with a case of crabs. It's going to be an ugly situation. We'll see how it goes.